Oh, good morning, friends. We're back on the wood splitter today. We were using it last week to do some wood splitting, and we had a small problem. We popped a hose. And I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it's still weeping right here. There's a split in the hose. Now let's go over some hydraulic hose issues real quick. This is the condition that you'll see mostly on hoses is, sorry I'm mumbling a little bit, chafing and dry rot. These hoses, I don't know if that'll focus or not. This one here's got lots of dry rot. This one obviously has tons of chafing. But if you notice, it didn't blow. It blew on a hard radius. Hoses will do that. They'll fatigue out and blow on a hard radius. So I think today what I'm going to do is fix up all these hoses, and I might change the motor. And why I might change the motor is the motor still runs fine, don't get me wrong. It's a little clackety, and I thought I'd do a video on rebuilding it. And I do have a couple of spare motors, so I'm going to pop on one of the spares, and then we'll see how that goes. It's all dependent on whether or not I can get the coupling off the motor. Now these Honda GX160s are what you call the, they have a 3/4 inch output shaft, common to just about any motor manufacturer for that size of frame motor. It's 5.5 horsepower, so anything around there is going to have 3.6. I know GX200 has a 3/4 inch output shaft. There are some specials. There's taper shaft for generators. I think there's a special for water pump. So if you get one of those, beware that you will not be able to use that motor. You'd have to change the crankshaft, which isn't impossible, but it just, unless you can find one that was decent, it probably wouldn't be worth it. Just keep your eye out for a 3/4 inch shaft motor. So that being said, I'm going to start to work on the get the tools ready and get ready to do some work on this thing and get her back up and going, because I do have a lot of wood to split and I don't want any more hassles. So this is a complete rehose with lots of new fittings, so I'll show you that as I go. Again, we had some older fittings on here. The new work that we did right here, this leaks because it's a street elbow and I can't get another turn out of it to stop it from leaking, so it had to stay leaking. All this was fine. I did get a vent cap. When I build the new chassis for this, the project is going to be to put a bigger capacity hydraulic oil tank to reduce the heat, and we're going to do that. Tried 2 different gauges on here and they both blew up from vibration, which is mostly pulsations in the pressure line. So I'm going to have to look at that too. Outside looking in, everybody would think, well, this is a problematic piece of equipment, but truly for the work that it has done, it is not a problematic piece of equipment. That does need a little bit of TLC, but that's what I do. So we're going to TLC it. We'll fix it up. It was originally a 3-point tractor powered PTO mounted log splitter, but I'll tell you, the efficiency of running a big tractor motor to split logs, it's not efficient at all. So what we'll do is we're going to make it better. That's what we do. So there's the intro, and I'll get right into it. We're going to change the motor, possibly. I hope so. Change out some hoses. Hang on. It's going to be a fun day. Thanks. All right. So the first thing I wanted to do was to determine if we were going to be able to get this coupler off the motor. It's 2 Allen keys, set screws in here, and look at this. I got them to pop loose, which is quite nice. And what I'm doing right here is I'm rolling them back and forth, and I'm keeping them full of lubricant, which just happens to be good old WD-40. And why I'm doing that is I don't want to mess the threads up. So I'll keep rocking it till it gets nice and loose. And you back up into the resistance. And then you keep rocking it until it gets loose. So that's a little tip for you there for today. How not to mess up fittings or bolted fasteners. Because that will happen. Here comes the happy dogs. Wrecking my video. Dumb and Dumber. Hey, Dumb and Dumber. Actually, that's Ellie. And Sherman's. Here, Sherman. And there's Sherman. Okay, so let me continue on with this. I got the coupler loose. Step one. Hey, while you're waiting for me to get set up on the next step, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe? We'd appreciate it. Thanks. Well, the first mistake I can see on here is these bolts are not supposed to be metric. Believe it or not, the entire motor is metric except the mounting. And I think these are metric bolts. I don't recall them being metric. I'm going to look for sure. But I could have swore that because this is a North American pattern and there's some Power Equipment Manufacturers Association that says that to have this is an SAE pattern on here. Yeah, this just don't feel right. That all the motor manufacturers stick to. That this should be standard, but I'll check for sure on the other motor and I'll pull up the diagram just so I'm not talking out my butt. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, that's 8.8. So what that means is that's the strength rating of the bolt, which 8.8 is, I believe, is equivalent to a grade 5, 10.8 grade 8. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll look it up. Anyway, this is definitely a metric bolt. You can see a little bit of distress in the thread, so I think I'm right on this one, but I'll check and make sure. So I'm going to pull this pump off. While I'm doing that, you guys can hit the like button. Oh, this isn't difficult. Let's see if I can get here. Yeah, I'm going to need a flex drive to get in there. Just like that. Wobble drive. Wait a minute. Greatest invention. Wobble drive sockets. And I remember when they invented them. That make me old? I don't know. Wrong size lock washers. But that'll happen. Sorry, I'm off camera again. No, there's a tight one. Listen to the click of the ratchet. You don't hear that much anymore in these videos. Everybody's always using power tools, and I guess that's okay. But I'm just doing it old school today, not that big of a hurry. Get this off. Okay, there is that. Now, what I got to work on is getting that coupler off. So I'm going to tap that and see if I can't get the Lovejoy coupler off of there, so we can get the other motor on. Okay, let me try that, and I'll be right back. Oh, popped her off, no issues. I just give it a couple of taps backwards and it popped right off. I'm gonna hazard a guess that we probably got a small seepage, more than normal, out of the rear main seal on the crank. So we're gonna have to definitely look into rebuilding this thing. Does sit out in the elements a lot. Bearing feels okay, but just kind of is indicative of a little bit of leaking. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull the motor off of here. It's those bolts there. I don't think I'll have any trouble. I'm not gonna bother filming that. It's just a little bit too boring. I'll get back to it when it's popped down and in place. So stand by, and I'll get the motor pulled off. I got the new motor set up here. There was a V-belt pulley on there. I got that off. I didn't show you all that stuff because, you know, why bother. So there's the plate. The plate's fine. I cleaned it all off, so when I bolt the motor down, I don't get any, I want it nice and flat so I don't get any distortion in the engine cases. So I got some new fasteners, and I'll put this down, get this all set up, and then I'll start re-videoing again. Had a little bit of a break. Some family up, Jake said some family up from Ontario. There's the oil reservoir. You can see how full I was able to get it through the T. Now that's going to come off. Tell you guys right now, I'm taking that off. I'm going to fix this back up the way it should be, and because I'll show you what we're doing. We got this piece right here. Got that from Princess Auto. So that's a filler breather cap. That's going to go on the tank. What's going to happen here is Jake's going to cut this out with a plasma and weld that bung. That's a bung. He's going to weld that in place of this because there was no way to get any oil in through this. I don't even know what that is.
Hey Dad, can you come here for a second?
So that's what we're up to. You're fine. You're looking good. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little bit of a slope. Can you put some 2x4 under there? There's that piece there, just to get her some more height out of it. Yeah, it's a bit sloped. I don't like the engine oil to be sloped. Okay, so that's what we're up to, and maybe get a shot when we get the plasma going. Stand by. Yeah, you can hear the generator welder laboring a little bit. That will get welded right there. Perfect. Yeah, we got the plate prepped.
We're sanding some of the burrs when they made it. They must have cut it with a zip cut wheel or something. It's a little bit crude. Just put some cheap rods on it, and it's a little sharp, so I'll just buzz the edges really quick and clean it up, and then hit the some of the slag off of here and clean up some of the rust. And then we'll spray it down with brake clean after we're done welding, and maybe paint it, maybe not, but put it back on.
That plasma sure made a nice
Cut,
quick
a little
job.
bit angled. I was using the whatever the boss they had welded in the middle as a guide, and it's a bit angled, but it doesn't really matter.
No, the bung will cover that up. That'll go on just like that. Lots of room, so you can set that up, weld it wherever you want. That's not hot. That was the piece that came out of there. Now, I'm gonna say snow probably went in there because this thing was buried in snow quite a few times. So with the new one, hopefully, because it's 180 degrees to get snow in, we'll be all right. So I'm over here working on this. I cleaned the motor plate off. I got all that ready. I'll be bolting the motor back on. That's the old motor. So I'll show you guys when I get this back on. I just want to keep things rolling. Jake's over there doing the work that he needs to do. So I'll be back when I get this bolted down. While you're waiting, you can probably hit the like button, maybe subscribe, leave a comment. You know, we want to know from you guys. What do you think? We work hard on this stuff, and we're working hard to bring you guys some content. Some of the chainsaw guys out there, I'm thinking about buying a Husqvarna, but it's going to be over 500 bucks. So in order for me to make that content, I got to put some money into it. So let me know if you guys think you'd like to see that, and we'll go from there. Sure.
Okay.
It's fine to me. Looks pretty good. Maybe not as good as Andrew Camerata, but it looks good. Uh-oh. Look what we got here. Uh-oh. We got a visitor. Hello, Tookie. That's my grandson. Come for a visit. Maybe give us a hand. Hi, buddy. Look at there. Who's there? Look at that. Uncle Jakey Welding. You're hot. Here, I'll get a hug. Get in for a hug. Ah, there you go. Friends, that's what it's all about. Are you my friend? Yes, I'm Grandpa's friend. Say hi. Wave. Hi. Wave. Say hi. Hi. There you go. Okay. I got the pump mounted. Pretty crazy what we discovered here. I'm having a hard time seeing through the viewfinder because of the sun. But this motor bracket's actually made out of plastic. So it's probably some kind of composite plastic. The motor holes were not indeed metric, nor were they 5/16 coarse thread. They were actually 5/16 fine thread. And it took me a while to remember this, but I remember getting button head Allen screws for the chain guards when we use these motors for racing over the clutch. So they are indeed a fine thread bolt. SAE 5/16. I can't remember what the pitch is. 27? No, 5/16. I can't remember. Anyway, it's 5/16 fine. And so I got this mounted, but what I want to do, because it's plastic, I want to see if I can dig up some flat washers maybe and put it underneath there. We'll see how that goes. Jake's got the tank cover done. We're going to go ahead and bolt that back down, and we'll be off to the races. So there we are right now. Got anti-seize on the shaft. I got my shaft put in there. And we're just going to set the spacing on the Lovejoy coupler, and we'll get back to you when we're at that point. So motor's mounted and we move forward. Well, as Jake's working on the oil tank, you can see there we are, got it in frame. I'm going to do the remainder of this video topless because I think that's what everybody wants to see. Worth a shot. I mean, why not? If it generates the likes and the views, I'll do it. Oh, dead sexy. There you go. So, Jake's working on putting the lid back on. Brand new fasteners. Got it all siliconed up. I'm working on this line. My OCD kicked in. And I stressed out over all these pipe fittings. So these are going to come out. Pump's all bolted on. You can see right here what I did here. I put a swivel 90 on here. Now I can move the hose wherever I want. Took the street elbow out, which was this guy here. I took that out. Because, yeah, I didn't like the way it was pointed, and I didn't like how it fit in the pump. So I'm going to take all this out, and then I'll show you. I got the line off. The one that was blowing it was the main pressure. I'm hating this kink right here, so I'm going to work on that. Jake will have the lid all bolted down. The new fill port. So let me carry on, and we'll shoot some more video. What was that, Jake?
The blue you see is the RTV, the gasket maker.
Yeah, you can see it just coming out there. We didn't build a gasket for it, didn't have time. This is all temporary. I'm going to show you the new tank. I got to build a new chassis for this thing in a tank, but we got wood to cut. There's a new tank there. That'll be going on. It's sitting upside down right now. So that'll be the new tank for the new chassis. And like I said, we got the motor off. So I'll keep going. I'll show you once we get her done what it looks like. Well, as my daughter says, we got here ourselves a problem. I think she thinks she's Hannah. You can't get this here fitting out of the hole because it done all be tightened up so much, and dang it all, we can't get it back out of the hole. And we got to get this here out of the hole. We can't go no further till we get it out of the hole. Anyway, that's what we're working on. Crazy NPT fitting wound in there. God only knows how tight. So what we're going to do is we're going to zip cut it off right here. I don't have a choice. And then we're going to pull this out because it's almost stripped now. So if we go any further, we're going to end up having to weld on it. Yeah, so this is the first hose. It's not completely tightened down yet, but you can see I got my anti-abrasion wrap. I bought the wrong size wrap. It works, but it's tiny stuff and it's a little bit tight. But you can see it does the job. And this is the fitting setup we got here. I was able to use the street again because between the combination of this thread and this thread, I was able to get my aim exactly where I wanted it. So that saved me a 3903 fitting, which is the swivel 90. I didn't have to use it there. And that's straight into my hose. That's a 36-inch pre-made hose. Got them from Princess Auto. I got this fitting here to take out. But like I said, unfortunately, we have to cut this off. There's no way around it.
Just get in there and I'll get my giver.
Okay. Jake's he's figured out his plan. I would go around from the other side.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then we're gonna cut that. So this is just one of the things that slow you down, that you got to deal with as you go along. Probably. Is there enough cord or no?
Just kind of put that cord up there.
Alright. There's not enough cord, team. Go ahead and do it. You can do it.
I'm working on it.
So we're going to cut this off, and then what we'll do is we'll use a socket. Because it's 13/16 and it's starting around every corner. So hopefully we're not getting into welding. Tookie, we need you over here. Where's the truck?
Is there pressure in that?
No.
Good?
We got the hex. Okay, let's see if we can get a socket on there. Good? What are you doing?
Okay.
There we go. You do what you got to do. So we got that out. And because we didn't really have a choice.
Neat little trick I learned. I didn't know impact makes all the difference with the rattling.
Yeah, it's the short little impacts, right?
And it breaks whatever's going on there. They took it out like it was nothing.
That was just to get the oil level down a little bit.
We're getting down to it, guys. The new motor's on. We just a matter of cleaning up after and giving her a test, but we're getting the last bit of hoses on, and we got the way over there. We got the new tank done.
So now we've gone from,
or the tank top refurbished there.
We've gone from NPT to JIC, and the JIC affords us lots of. Where's the pipe dope? Seem to have lost the pipe dope. Right here. Okay. So that's going to go in there. There.
Dog stinks.
The next one we got to get out is here. Get that out. No, what is it?
Got it. That's a good thing for
That
us.
is a 90-degree pipe swivel. And I'll explain to you real quick when I get this out how this works. Now the pipe swivel when you screw in the grab that piece of hose, Jake, so I can show these guys. When you grab this, and if you see here, on the end of this pipe, there's an inversion in there. And if you see in here, can you got this? This is in the shot?
Yep.
There's a cone in there. So what you're doing is you're actually screwing this down and you're forcing the cone that's on this part down into the seat. So as soon as this is backed off, it's going to leak right away. But here's the other kicker, is you don't need to put anti-seize on this, or sorry, MPT thread sealant at all on either part, because this is based on the flare doing the sealing. If anything, you should coat this nipple with anti-seize if you have to use these. Now, this is kind of old school a little bit, but yeah, it is doable. So that's how that worked. That's not it is a viable hydraulic setup, but you just don't see it that much because JIC became more prevalent. JIC is not 45 degrees seat, it's 37 degrees. You have to remember that. You can't use SAE.
Swivel, son.
Yeah, SAE 45 with JIC, unless you plan on getting real crazy with it. So I'm going to put a straight nipple in there. JIC to NPT. This is 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch, so it's -8 to -8. Right. So this is 1/2 inch through. So that's there. So this goes in here. The only place that I don't ever mind seeing pipe threads for black pipe stuff on equipment is on the return line, because there's no pressure in the return line. You might see 15 pounds. And again, you might not. You might see nothing. But now, got a couple of options how we can hook this up. Make sure that's clean. 24 inch hose. Actually, we don't. We only have one option. Okay. So let's get this screwed down, because I know I haven't screwed this fitting down. Decided that was 7/8. Yes, grandson. I'm putting together the log splitter. Grampy's fixing it. What do you think? Whoa, that was a big bird. So, this is 3903 elbow.
Hey, Tristan, come over here, buddy.
So this can go in here. Yeah, but you kind of got to. And this hose, where the hose go? What in here? This can go like this. This can go like this. And now you can see the adjustability that you get out of that. So I can set my hoses up. I can lean it against here. I'll put some wrap on it. This one's leaning against here. It's got wrap. So that's the pressure from the pump into the valve, and that's my B port. So my A port, I'll do that next once I get this hose out.
Might be the same procedure.
I mean, I could leave this, but this hose it's not bad.
But we're gonna put a new hose on.
Yeah, I'll put a new one on. So let me get this hose out and we'll be right back to you. You can pause that.
Okay.
Here I'm showing you some putting on thread sealant.
We were able to hammer that other one out with the wrench there, so we didn't have to cut it.
Well, but the beauty of this stuff is that it doesn't migrate in the system. And even if bits of it do get in the system, doesn't do anything. Teflon tape, it will plug up valves, it'll plug up pumps, it will get into cylinders, it will wreak havoc wherever it gets into. And like I said before in other videos, the best of the best will still get, if they use Teflon tape, you'll still end up with Teflon tape somewhere in the system. So now I've converted my MPT to JIC. That's done. So I have JIC here, Jake, and JIC here. I got the new hose. The only thing I didn't like about these Princess Auto hoses is the hexes. Well, I guess you could like it and not like it. The hexes are 15/16. So they're bigger. So I have that. I don't mind that so much. I think that'll work. I could elbow it, but I dislike that more, I think. That doesn't work. That doesn't work, so it's going to be a hoop. But I think I don't mind that the least. And this is the beauty of this stuff. You're just putting it together with your bare fingers, and then you snug her up with a wrench. Try this. Do the hard end first.
Something's wrong with that thread.
Something wrong with that thread?
It's gonna have to come out.
This one. And that's it. Oh, you like all that? That all looks decent. This is garbage. We'll take that fitting off. That goes in. Garbage. Okay. Now next I'm going to fix this and that. And then I'll show you as I go what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. And this filter is going to get moved over.
Because we have this now.
Because now we have the breather. So when we put oil in, how tight did you put that?
Don't slide down. It's not a slide.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Tighter than I thought.
Tighter than we thought. Okay, we'll get back to that. And
I'll put on a glove and get that. I don't want to cut my finger. I might have went a little tight with that, but that's okay. I didn't crank it with anything or anything, just with my hand. Okay.
so let's, we're going to wrap this hose.
And we'll route it, and then we'll tighten it up, and then we'll kind of come back and show you what we got.
Yeah, we'll wrap this hose, and then we'll fix this. The T's coming out, and the filter's going to move in closer. And this is going to come out, I think. So let me see what I got for that. If not, I might have to leave this for now, I don't know. But I can take this out. Okay, stand by. Oh, we got her up and running. I took the T out of here, shortened this hose, got all this back together. I think I got the leak out of that street. I didn't have another fitting to put in there, so it is what it is. All our hoses are done up. Motor's running okay. So you can see it all looks pretty good. Motor's running all right. I don't have a tachometer to set the speed, but I'm going to get a tach and then I'll be able to set the speed. Jake's just working on putting the tools back. So this motor will idle with the pump on. The other motor wouldn't. So there's that. Go get the dogs. Anyway, I think we'll call it done. The only thing left to do is to split a log. And we'll be golden. So there it is. The log splitter lives again. So total price was under $200 because I bought a lot of extra fittings. So it's probably like 175 bucks, say, to do all the work. Because I did buy some extra fittings. So there you have it. No leaks. And everything's working okay. Well, all right, we'll see you soon. So don't forget, guys, please ring the bell. Ring the bell, hit the like button, subscribe, come back often, and you get to see some more crazy antics on the homestead. See you soon.